There was a long time ago where I was at the time being bullied by what I eventually thought they were my friends.
I saw my friends would get their bags taken by people in upper grades and they'd be thrown onto roofs or tossed in a bin and thrown over a fence. And I would always try and just collect it. I wanted to make sure my friend didn't feel bad about it, or I wanted to make sure he was okay with everything.
Yeah, well look, I started year 7 as, anxious kid, shy and all that, and I just wasn't ready for high school. And when I turned up on my first day of year 7, I was surrounded by, hundreds of kids, most of them older than me, most of them bigger than me. And I buckled under the pressure of it a bit, and I struggled to develop friendships and that with friends, with other people. And then the bullying sort of started. Once you were isolated from the group, that's when it sort of started. So I'd spend my lunch times alone, and that's when the kids in the groups would walk past and they'd make comments about me being alone, what I was doing and all that sort of stuff. And so after about a term of that, all my self-confidence was gone, and every time I turned up to school I thought I was just some outsider that was going into a school that I didn't belong to, and that was just really hard.
There was verbal bullying. Kids didn't want to sit with me. They didn't want me to be in particular spots in the class. They would put me down or say that I'm dumb. They would sort of push me around and just act like they were better than me.
Well, I usually carry my lunch in my pocket, and one day I dropped my lunch. An old friend of mine who picked it up and threw it in the bin, which I eventually went after, only to find that I was pushed in the bin myself. Left there 4 or 5 minutes to get myself out.
And so my first instance of bullying was with me being actually overweight, so they were teasing me about that. And so after I stopped attending school, that was my main focus, was that I was overweight. I was a big kid, so rather than doing anything about it, I sort of turned to food again and put on more weight. And then I actually came to Redbank in the short-term program, and they helped me overcome sort of my initial anxieties about returning to a mainstream school and facing all the other kids again. I managed to do that, and then only to get bullied again, and for my weight still, because that was still an ongoing issue. And so I actually developed an eating disorder. I lost about 30 kilos, ended up in hospital, returned to school, and only this time to be bullied for being anorexic, being a boy with anorexia, which was pretty tough. So I think the thing with bullying, I realised after those first 3 years of mainstream high school, was that you can't win with bullying. If you listen to what they say, it's not going to help you, it's not going to help them. They'll always find something to bully you for, whether it's because you're overweight, you're too skinny, you're too normal, you're too weird. They'll always find something to bully you on.
I'm actually glad that this happened, all those issues, because I know if that didn't happen, then I wouldn't be at this school, and I'm really glad that I'm at this school because it has changed so many aspects of my life.
I think bullies are people who want to feel better about themselves, and something they do is to put other people down, which puts them on the high ground. They want to feel like they're superior, and the one way they do it is by putting other people down for it, and without people to stop that, it's just going to continue the cycle, and it's just not a good cycle, I guess.
I think they're insecure. They're looking to put their insecurities onto someone else, pick their own confidence up by taking someone else's, and I think that's a pretty selfish thing to do. And you'd hope in hindsight they realise what they're doing, but often they make excuses for it and they just don't realise what they're doing at the time.
I think that they're trying to put themselves in a place where they can be recognised. A certain power, maybe.
Bullying is like sandpaper. It leaves its victims polished and the bullies useless.
I say no to bullying.
I say no to bullying.
I say no to bullying.
I say no to bullying.